welcome to the final whistle. I'm Steve Forbes.
I'm Kenzie Benali.
And Southampton make it 2 wins on the bounce at home with a 3-1 victory over Fulham here at St Mary's. Joining us to talk all things post-match, we have former Southampton captain Dean Hammond and former chief sports writer for the Southern Daily Echo, Adam Leach. Well, Dean, the weather didn't know what it was doing today, but the Saints certainly did. A comfortable win there.
Yeah, it really was. Another good performance. I thought the game was pretty even up to the first goal. I don't think there was much in it really. Both teams keeping the ball and kind of sounding each other out, and then great to see Shay score again. A very, very good delivery from James Ward-Prowse. I thought his deliveries today were superb, really on the mark. And then obviously Southampton took control from that moment really. Creating chances, a few half chances, getting into good areas, looked really comfortable on the ball. I thought the movement today between the midfield players was very, very good. Stuart Armstrong and James Ward-Prowse. And then there was a spell in the second half really where Fulham came into it, or you could say Southampton went a little bit quiet for about 20 minutes when Fulham got their goal back. But then that kind of reignited the fire in Southampton. They came back into the game, dominated again. Brilliant to see Nathan Tella get his goal. Like I said, there was a few good opportunities, some good movement. And the players looked really comfortable. And I think it just shows there must have been a little bit of pressure on the players. They must have been feeling a little bit of pressure when the season wasn't finalised, when there was that threat of relegation. Since that stopped, I think the last two games they've been superb and played very, very well. So 2 home wins in a row, 2 victories in a row. You can't ask for much more, really.
Exactly. Adam, yeah, as Dean said, you can't ask much more. A dominant display for large parts of the game, and great to see young Nathan Tella make an impact from the bench too.
Yeah, I mean, I actually quite enjoyed it as a game, as a spectacle. It was, given that there sort of was nothing really riding on the result for either team. It was actually relatively entertaining. It wasn't kind of one of those dull end of season games, maybe a tiny bit less intensity for Fulham towards the end. But yeah, I mean, you could see why Fulham are in the position they're in. An entertaining team to watch, and you kind of admire many things about the way they play, but obviously a massive lack of cutting edge in the final third and lack of quality that lets them down. But Saints were good today. I thought there was a lot of good performances. I mean, Jack Stevens, I think, was really unfortunate that kind of his error led to the goal, because I think we talked a lot about him beforehand, and I thought he put in a pretty big performance before that slip for him, that moment for him. But there was some really good performances out there today, and I mean, Ralph, it was great for him to be able to have that luxury to bring Danny off after just under an hour. He was able to take Stuart Armstrong off, and for Saints' point of view, that kind of allows hopefully that momentum to continue, because now some of the key players, they can go again on Tuesday night, hopefully, and then hopefully play again for the last game of the season. And there's that extra little sense of momentum. I know the season has kind of ebbed away a little bit, but we've talked a lot about the importance of finishing strongly for numerous reasons, and Saints look like they're going to do that. Yes, 2 harder games to come now, but still 2 games they can win, and they look in form, they look confident, they got a lot of players that are suddenly playing very well. Yeah, it's a bit of a different story to a couple of months ago, which is great.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, let's talk about the game in a bit more detail now then, starting with Shay's goal, the first goal, his 9th of the season. Andreas has left us a comment saying Shay could not score another goal for us ever, and I'd still want him to play. His passing game is immense. So Dean, I want to kind of put that to you. How would you rate the goal, but also Shay's overall contribution?
Well, the goal was a good finish because Shay didn't have a lot of time to react, got a really good contact on it from close range, but them opportunities can be missed. So it was a very, very good finish. And I think Shay's link-up play is very, very impressive. There's a pass in the second half for Nathan Redmond's opportunity when he puts Nathan through, and it's the weight of the pass is very, very good. The vision he's got, the awareness that Nathan's through. He plays it first time with great pace. He gets into that hole very well, Shay, where he comes in between the midfield and the defenders and gets on a half turn, like his goal he did for Danny Ings against Crystal Palace. He's always got a very, very good assist in him. And then the part he played in, the third goal for Theo Walcott. You know, he has a touch, he composes himself, plays Nathan Tella in, who checks it back for Theo Walcott to play it in. But Shay's game is improving all the time. He works very, very hard. He's a good team player. I just think he's got a lot of attributes that he will continue to improve. And he looks like he scores in batches, doesn't he? You know, he scored one game goal and then he goes 2 or 3 where he gets goals, and he looks like he's going to do that again. So it would be really, really good for him to finish the season strong. He'll go into the Euros with Scotland, I would have thought. And yeah, I think he's had another good season. He's improved again, and he's just cementing himself in the side and becoming a vital part of the team and a really, really important player. But I like a lot about Shay's game. He played well again today.
Well, the assist for Shay's goal came from James Ward-Prowse, and Adam, it's deliveries like that will get him into Gareth Southgate's plans for the summer with England.
Well, I mean, is there a better set piece player in the Premier League? And then is there a better English set piece player in the Premier League? I don't know. I'm not sure there is. Not for me. Not all round, because he has the ability not only to deliver for assists from set pieces, but also to score from set pieces as well. It's a great asset to have. But I think beyond that as well, it's a strong all-round game that he's grown, and we've seen him grow at Saints, which has been obviously a real joy to watch over sort of the last 5, 6, 7 years, as he's really sort of become the player that we see today. And he offers a lot as well as his set pieces to England as well, in my opinion. I think there's a lot more to him. I think when you kind of go outside of the Saints bubble, kind of all you hear is people going, "Oh yeah, James Ward-Prowse, he's the guy who's really good at free kicks. Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. Like, his corners are the best in the Premier League." They are, but there's a lot more to him than that as well. His all-round game is excellent. So I think he offers an awful lot potentially to England. It's competitive. It's going to be hard for him to get in for sure. But what more can he do? He's captaining the side. He's leading a Premier League club. He's scoring goals. He's playing really well. He's got so many assists. He offers that threat constantly from set pieces that very few players in the Premier League do. It's a great option to have. You know, he's done and is doing everything that is within his power really to do to try and get himself in that England, not only squad, but in that England team.
Wow, the second goal came from Nathan Tella just moments after coming on, and as you can imagine, our social channels are being flooded with comments of love for him. Mark's got in touch and he says, what a display by Tella. He looks fast, dangerous and bubbling with enthusiasm. Really exciting player for the future. Alex is on YouTube. He says, Tella with a goal and assist. He's looking like the real deal. Dan on Facebook says, Stevens and Tella were huge positives today. Great to grab 3 goals against a good side too. And Katie says, yes, Saints, thank you, Tella, your first senior goal. Dean, first senior goal. He must be absolutely delighted with that. What kind of boost do you think that's going to give the youngster?
I think it'll give him a huge boost. I think it's obviously the final bit that's been missing for Nathan since he's come into the team. He's wanted to get that goal. And actually, it's a brilliant finish because he'll see it for a long time coming across the box. He'll be thinking, right, this is my opportunity. I won't get a better opportunity. He gets good contact in it, and it's a really, really good finish. But it was the perfect display from him. He came on and made a real impact into the game. He obviously got his goal. He looked bright. He looked full of energy. The assist for Theo Walcott, the chance he got where he outpaced the central defender, showed really, really good balance and strength, and then confidence and belief in himself to come back. And he could have laid it off to Shay Adams, but took the shot on. So it showed his confidence. I think he's grown into his Southampton career, and it was brilliant to see what it meant to him. You know, the smile on his face when he was celebrating, that was brilliant. His teammates for him as well. So he looks like he's fitted into the group really, really well. And he's at that stage now where you've got a player that can really impact the game when they come off the bench. You know, he brings that energy, he brings that buzz that you may need in a game that's tight or 1-1 or 0-0. To come on and have the effect like he did was very, very good. And I think he's come on leaps and bounds in just a short space of time since he's come into the team. And the manager looks like he believes in him and trusts in him. So, yeah, it's been brilliant for him. And it was great to see him score his goal.
And Adam, you can bet your bottom dollar that if fans had been in the stands today, they would have loved that one. I mean, Nathan Tella's becoming so popular amongst the Saints supporters, and if there's anywhere where fans like to see young players being given a chance, it's here.
Well, it's part of the DNA of the football club, I think. Every set of fans love to see a young player come through, of course. But at Southampton, it's something that they've been doing. It's not just that this isn't a new thing. They've been exceptional at this for 50 years. Really, since Laurie Momenemy back in the day set up the sort of satellite academies and started bringing through incredible talent, and it's just carried on and on and on. It's obviously a huge part of how Saints conduct themselves as a football club. It's not just a philosophy. Obviously, it's partly a driven out of necessity. It's driven by the financial realities that they also live and work within. But it's such an important part of what they do. And I think that's why perhaps Southampton fans, as much as at least, if not a bit more from what you're saying, Steve, I agree. Like they take particular pride in seeing the young players come through, whether they're I mean, it's great when you get the 7, 8-year-olds that have been there since that age and they've come all the way through to the first team. But it's also great when you see they've brought in a player who's 14, 15, 16, perhaps is not going to get a chance somewhere else. And then they develop them as well. It's all part of what Saints is about as a football club. I think it's one of the things that makes it a very, very special football club and a special place. And it's great that they have a manager in charge right now who, if they're good enough, he'll play them. And that's huge for those young players. And obviously it's massive for the fans who love to see them play.
Yeah, most definitely. Great to see Tella thriving. And it was Carl Walker-Peters with the pinpoint assist. Dean, with the season he's had, do you think Gareth Southgate should be considering him in his plans, if not for this summer, then for soon after?
Yeah, I think it may just come a little too soon this summer for him. I think he would have obviously been in a couple of squads, but he'll definitely be on Gareth Southgate's radar. It definitely would have been monitoring his progress because he's been very, very impressive. And you're right about the cross, Kenzie. It's a brilliant cross. He doesn't take that touch. He just puts it into an area. And I think that's all you can do as a winger or a fullback, put it into an area and I hope players attack the ball. And it was a great cross with great pace. But I liked, about his game today. He had a bit of bite in his tackle as well. Early on, he got to Bobby Reid and give him a really good tackle. And usually would have been a booking, but the referee let it go. But I like that part of his game that's developing as well. And he's still young. He's still got lots to learn, but he's been very, very impressive. And he gives Southampton that different dimension when he's playing, that attacking threat. So he'll definitely be in consideration for the future for England, and I'm sure he'll get a chance at some point. I just think, unfortunately for him, at the moment, there's a few players that have got more England experience than him, and this summer will come a little bit too soon for him.
Well, the game did threaten to get a little bit nervy when Fulham made it 2-1, but the third goal from Southampton really put it to bed. Adam, talk us through that one and the clever assist from Tella as well.
Yeah, well, I wasn't nervous, Steve, because I predicted 3-1, so I was full of confidence at that point. But yeah, it was a really good team goal again. A bit like the second one. There was some great interplay, really quick, fast, moving football, and a kind of free-flowing football that is Saints at their best. When they play like that, it's so hard to contain them because you look at the movement; it's so fluid. It's very difficult for players to really know where the Saints players are going to go when they play the 4-2-2-2. I mean, and Ralph gives them such freedom in that movement. It's very, very difficult. I mean, obviously the finish from Theo, there was an element of luck. Obviously, it was a significant deflection and hard to know whether the goalkeeper would have had it covered with the original shot or not. But nonetheless, it kind of deserved a goal because of the build-up play was so good. And that's really, it's that kind of stuff. It's the high tempo pressing game. It's the quick, fluid movement. That's Saints at their best. When they do that, that was kind of the essence of them early in the season when they were getting so many results. And it's great to see some more of that now because it's been a little while coming to really see that and to see it so effective and incisive. So it was a really great goal.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, still plenty of love coming in for Tella. David has said, so pleased for him, got a big future. He certainly does, doesn't he? Jerry was also impressed by Salisu. He said he had another very solid game. Andrew on Facebook, hello, he's got in touch. He says, well done Saints, that was a great win. A little nervy after Fulham pulled that goal back, but Walcott sealed the win with a cracking goal. And Stephen and Karen on Facebook have said, good win and well played all. Yeah, plenty of good performances today, Dean. Let's talk about Jack Stevens though. He came in to replace Jan Bednarek at centre-back. How did he do for you there?
Very well, very well. Like Adam mentioned, he'll probably be a little bit disappointed that he was a little bit too eager to try and win that ball for Fulham's goal. But he was great, Jack. You know, he came into the team very, very comfortable on the ball. He was in this first half especially, he was driving out defence, coming out defence, playing into midfield. And I like that about Jack's game. You know, really, really good on the ball, which helps, obviously, Southampton's possession game. The tackle he made second half, so well timed. You know, took a little bit of a risk, but it was a great tackle to prevent Lookman. I think, again, there was a block later on in the game where Lookman was a strike and Jack fully commits to it and makes a great block again. There was some headers. So very, very dominant and looked comfortable. I just think you got a little bit too eager to try and win that ball. But that can happen. Like, mistakes happen in football. I think Jack can be very pleased with his performance today. And very pleased since he's come into the team, really. You know, when he's had to play at left back, he's been very solid, very reliable. When he's had to play at centre half the last two games, very, very good and impressive. So, you know, that's all you can do as a player. When you come into the team, do your job to the best of your ability, and the manager will be pleased with Jack. So, yeah, good performance from Jack and some great time tackles, which was really impressive.
And the result today means it's back-to-back wins for Southampton, and they're up to 13th in the Premier League now, Adam. But what does this result mean in the grand scheme of things for Saints?
Well, I think it's easy to write it off as meaning nothing, because ultimately they're not going down. They can't really finish higher realistically than 12th, but it is important that not only financially. I mean, again, that's an easy thing to say, but that's not really there's more important things than that. Even when you look at the team, you look at the squad. We spent some time before the match talking about the transfer window this summer, and it's a big one for Saints this summer, without any doubt. They need to retain a few players that maybe there's some question marks over, and they also really need to attract in some good players as well. They're going to need some, not only squad depth, they're going to need some players that can play straight away in their first team, which is, you're looking at really high quality footballers, therefore. And there's going to be a lot of competition for those players. There's a lot of clubs that are in that Saints kind of bracket who can pay the same kind of money. So what is it that you've got that you can either retain players or attract players with? And what you want is, you want players to come in and look at the table, look at those performances at the end of the season, have that feeling that this is a club that's going somewhere, that's got potential, that's got, is not just languishing at fourth bottom. And so these results are important for that. It may sound a bit weird or a bit strange, but actually it is important. It does make a big difference to them. So I think it is an important result. And also I think it's nice for Ralph and the players, because 2021 has been pretty torrid for them after a really good, second half of 2020. But they have kept working. There's never been any question over their work rate, their effort, their commitment to the cause. Never, ever have we questioned that. So it's good that they're actually getting some reward and some results, so they can at least go away for the summer with a little bit of confidence and a bit of spring in their step for when they return for pre-season.
Well, Dean, next up it's Leeds. Can the Saints make it 3 from 3?
They certainly can. The way they're playing, especially in the last two performances, it's going to be a tough game because Leeds are in good form as well. I think they won 4-0 today, so a great result from them. But one thing we'll be looking forward to is, I think it'll be an open game. Two good footballing teams. Leeds will come to win. Obviously, Southampton will look to win. So, yeah, a big game for Southampton. And can they continue this run now? Another home game, can they win that? Another victory, can they get 9 points out of 9? That would be brilliant. Can they continue scoring goals? Can they continue building on the confidence? So I'm looking forward to the game. I think it will be a really entertaining game, and one that Southampton will definitely be confident of winning.
hopefully we don't have torrential rain on Tuesday night. And Adam, I'm not asking you to predict the weather, but what are your early thoughts ahead of the game against Leeds?
Well, I mean, after my prediction with the score, Steve, you might be wise to ask. So I think, like Dean said, it should be an entertaining game. Leeds are playing well. They are an entertaining team. It's one of those games that you kind of feel like, well, both sides are quite attack-minded at their heart, really, and neither of them really have anything to lose, particularly, really, going into this game. So what you hope for is that it's going to be two attacking teams just giving it a good go, going out, expressing themselves as players, enjoying the game, enjoying that they can play at this level, enjoying the fact there'll be supporters back again, which is going to be fantastic for everybody involved. And it could just be a really good atmosphere, good carnival game of football as well. And that's just what you hope for, really, that you have two attacking teams, you have some goals, and everybody goes away happy and a successful night.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Well, Adam, Dean, a delight to have you with us as always. Thank you for your insight and analysis. As we've said, we are next in action again right here on Tuesday as we host Leeds. And as Adam just touched on, we do welcome fans back as well. So it's going to be a good one. If you're not coming along, make sure you're right here with us on Saints Live. We'll be live from 4:45.